Aloha guys, it's Lamech here, your paranormal guy. Uh, I wanted to do a recap vlog about what happened to me Sunday. Um, it was definitely an experience that I have never had the opportunity of experiencing. It was definitely a first for me. You know, I went from seeing things all the time or even hearing things, whether it be noises or people talking, to being touched by a ghost. And the experience it wasn't a frightening experience. It really wasn't. I was more shocked and uh, overwhelmed than anything because, like I said, it was a first for me. I've always heard about it, but never experienced it. Now, just like when I, like as far as UFOs go, I've always heard about reddish orange orbs, that be floating in the sky. I've heard about those countless times, and then one night when I'm driving on the highway, I happened to look up and to my right, and there it was. It was pretty high up, but still, I saw a reddish orange orb just floating in the sky. Then, right before my very eyes, it was like someone took a glass of milk and poured it on the very top of that orb, and you could see the milk just trickle down, in layers over the side, and then the entire orb turned white. I was like, whoa, and I wish every day that I actually caught that on tape. That would have been so cool. I mean, because I've never been one to actually uh, do the whole um, video thing with UFOs or ghosts. I feel like I don't need video proof to prove that I actually saw what I saw. I mean, in my eyes, I can only tell you what I saw. That's the goddamn honest truth. My truth, is me telling you exactly what I saw. I could neither deny it or, disclaim it. I could never try to say, well, I only saw that because of this, or I saw that because of that. I can't do that. And it's not even about that. People who do that have a hard time believing that they saw what they saw because they still think that there is no such thing as aliens or there is no such thing as ghosts. You know, they're like partially, um, what's the word? Um, they're partially skeptical. And I get that a lot. I see that a lot with people. They're afraid to realize that there is more than just human life, you know, that has been spawned from this great ball of rock and water that we live on. You know, there's other life out there, and there's other life beyond this realm of Earth, you know, whether it's UFOs or other strange creatures or ghosts. There's other realms out there. There's other dimensions out there. And that's where most of all these beings are coming from. You know, I know this, but other people don't want to accept it because their minds are wired to only accept what they know. Like if you're a person that's heavily into the church, or you're a God fearing person, you don't want to believe that there's more than just humans out there. You don't want to believe there's a such thing as ghosts unless you actually experience it yourself. I have. I have experienced all of it. Now, given the fact that I have experienced all these things, you got to have people that's in your corner. And my mom is definitely one of them. She's my rock. She's my best friend. And I told her about what I went through, and she didn't, she didn't like, try to bring me down and saying that, oh, you just sleep, or you seeing things, or this and that, and the other. You sure you ain't been smoking or doing any drugs? She didn't do that. She just heard what I said, and that was it. She accepted it. Because she knows I've been having these, experiences ever since I was a kid. You know, so all she could ever do is just hear what I was saying and accept it. Because I'm her son. And this woman, we're talking about a woman who has sacrificed everything. When I was growing up, she made sure that I always had food on the table, clothes on my back, and shoes on my feet. I never went hungry, not once. Even when I was living with my nana, when I was growing up, she always provided for me and sacrificed everything, you know, just so that I could be safe and grow up in a safe environment. We're talking about a woman that would make me come in the house at 18, 8 o'clock at night in the summertime. 18, well, 7, I think I was 17, but still, could have been 16 for all I know, but I just know I was young. I was a teenager, and she had me coming in the house at 8 o'clock in the summer. That does not happen. And if it does, it's only because your parents love you, your mom loves you. And I see that now. I didn't see that before. I thought I was just being coddled, but she was doing that for my safety. She always told me she can't sleep unless she knows I'm in the house. So I was like, oh boy. Sometimes I even thought about sneaking out, but I never did it because I was too scared to. Even though that was my mother, still, she could still whoop my butt with a switch. And I have been whooped by my mother with a switch growing up. But anyway, like I said, I've had so many experiences that can't even really top this, except for when I saw my guardian angel, and that was a very, very, very exciting experience for me because I had insomnia for 2 weeks straight. This was when I was like 17 years old. We had just really moved to Virginia at that time. I was a senior in high school, and I asked the Lord. Wait, I was no, actually I had already graduated high school by then. I think I was like in my it was either because I graduated at 17, so this probably happened around that time. But anyway, um, I had insomnia for 2 weeks straight, and no matter what I did, I could not close my eyes. Literally, I could. My eyes were always wide open. I just could never close them. So I told my mom about it, and she said, "Read the 23rd Psalm." So I did. I read the 23rd Psalm that very same night. I, I had a feeling I was going to go to sleep, but I asked the Lord, "Can I please see my guardian angel?" Because I never saw him before. That very night, I actually went to sleep, but I was awakened by a blinding light that just appeared out of nowhere in the center of my room. I got up, I looked up, and saw this shimmering light just hovering right there. And out of that light formed a man with curly, long hair, black, long hair. He had chiseled uh, jawbone. He was square. He had a square jaw, and he had this big white smile. You with pearly white teeth, of course. But anyway, he reached out for my hands, and I grabbed his hands. I looked up at him. He looked at me. He smiled and vanished in the thin air, and the room went dark again. I know I saw it. Even though things you see these things, and it was a long time ago. It almost becomes like a distant memory. You can't really remember all the details, but you know that you saw what you saw. You experienced something. So nobody could ever take that away from me. I wish I could see it again in full view like I did last time. Just but I don't need clarification. I know I went through it. And then there was the experience I had in Bermuda where me and my mom was being driven around by an angel. He was just as solid as you and me, but when we took a picture with him, he never showed up in the photos, and they all came out, including the negatives. So, try to explain that, people. You want to be a skeptic about that? I don't think so. But anyway, like I said, I also began to realize that there is no such thing as hallucinations. Yeah, I came to realize that because I started to really think about it. And hallucinations come from hallucinogenic drugs. But what it really is, if you really, really think about it, hallucinogenic drugs are basically it's not a hallucinogenic drug. It's actually opening up your mind to see things that you couldn't see with the naked eye. You able to peer into the spirit world and see these ghosts just walking around like as if they are still alive. You know, I remember one time I was drugged at my job, and I was seeing people running through the area with hats on. You know, they had on this one person I saw with a white cap on, and somebody had drove my food, and that was at my job of all places. You know, but I never said that. Okay, they drugged me, so I was hallucinating. I never thought that. I just know that I was just able to see spirits, and it just heightened my brain capacity to where I can peer into the spirit world and see what I couldn't see beforehand. You know, so when a person tells you hallucinating, you've been smoking, you've been drinking, don't listen to that. If you saw it, you saw it. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. You know, they can't tell you any different. And if they try, that's only because they never experienced it. People fear what they don't understand. Okay? Always remember that. People fear what they don't understand, whether it be your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, or your friend down the street, your teacher, you know, even your pastor, you know. But I'm just saying, you know, but the experiences I had is nothing compared to what I went through when I was laying on this couch taking a nap and had a dream and was awakened by this intense pressure that came down on my body, and then all of a sudden I'm feeling a fingernail trace a circle into my chest, and I could feel my chest hairs moving around. And the funny part was the finger was going through my shirt, so I could feel the finger in my chest. That was the crazy part, you know? And I was just like locked in position. I didn't want to open up my eyes. I kept saying, "Should I open up my eyes to see what this is?" But I really didn't want to, so I didn't. So, but I was feeling this finger just tracing this circle in my chest, and I was like, and then it got to the point where I was just getting real fishy. I was like, you know, and then right after I did that, then that pressure just released and it just disappeared, and it manifested out of thin air and it just planted itself right on my body and pushed me into the sofa. That's how I knew it was really happening, because it woke me up out of a sound sleep, but I just didn't open up my eyes. You know, I had a person at my job try to tell me that, oh, I know what you were going through. You were going through a period of REM sleep. That's when you in between a deep sleep and a light sleep. No, that's not what I was going through, because my eyes would have been just moving all over the place, and that's not what was happening. I'm very in tune with my body inside and out. What I went, if I was going through that, I would have went through a period of they call it sleep paralysis, where your entire body becomes paralyzed from the neck down. Okay, that didn't happen to me. I was wide awake. I was awakened by a pressure that was pushing down on my body and making my body push right into the cushion of the sofa. I felt that. You know, it was like somebody just laid their body right on top of mine, but I couldn't feel the body. I just felt this heaviness on my body. That was the thing. It didn't feel like a human body, you know, but I could tell that it had to have been a woman, because my body on this side was feeling like it was almost like a wool blanket that my mom had when I was a little kid. She still has it, and it had these tiny little lint balls on it, you know, tiny little wool lint balls, and that's what it felt like. It felt kind of lumpy, or like just like matted hair or something like that. You know, it was weird, and I think I was touched somewhere else, but I can't really recall if I was or not. I just felt like I was. I might have been, but I can't remember. But I just know that was a crazy experience. I wasn't scared. I was more shocked and just like, oh, I was blown away that it actually happened, because I've never experienced that before. I've heard things, I've seen things, but I was never touched by a ghost. But anyway, I always promise you guys, if I ever have an experience, I will always make sure you guys will be the first ones to know. You know, but you know, when I have them, then that's when I report them. Sometimes they don't happen. They don't happen every day. They happen every couple of months. And when I least expect it, that's when they just pop up out of nowhere. And I was like, oh, I heard something, or I heard someone speak. You know, so. But I don't have much time, and I want to make sure I finish this video the right way. So I'm gonna just end it now. Always imparting. When I get an experience, I will let you guys know. So always imparting. Aloha, mahalo, and ahuiho, which means till we meet again. Peace.